This is a super quick video about how to wind and how to operate your Omega Seamaster. Now the reference on this watch is 2220-8000 and this is a 2008 edition of this watch. Now if you want to know what watch this is in particular and why I bought it, this is the very watch that Daniel Craig was wearing in Casino Royale when Vesper Lynd introduced herself to him for the first time on the train. And she asked him what was he wearing, was it a Rolex? And he said Omega. This was the watch that was on his wrist.
Rolex?
Omega.
Beautiful.
So getting right into it, the first thing is I just want to say you guys are going to notice this here. This is the helium escape valve, and this is a bona fide diver watch for going inside the ocean and going underwater. When you have helium build up inside the watch, you simply turn this escape valve to let the helium get out. But because we're not going inside the ocean, pretty much, let's say 99% of the people that own this watch are not going diving inside of this. We don't need to worry about this at all. And I wouldn't turn it as it is. I would just leave it just as it is. Now, we're looking at the crown on this side, and this is how we're going to operate this. The first thing is, if you don't know anything about these type of diver watches, be it from Omega or from Rolex, these are automatic watches, which means that they have no battery to operate them. You don't have to change a battery once a year or anything like that. This is totally powered with either winding or a combination of winding and wearing it on your wrist. Now, this doesn't have an exhibition case back, but behind this, there is a rotor. And as you wear this watch on your wrist throughout the day, that rotor is going to spin and spin. And just as you are moving your wrist around, that rotor is going to keep this watch charged, or it will even charge it up, depending on how long that you wear it for, so that you don't have to rewind it again later. So that's what an automatic watch is. A manual watch means that you have to wind it every time, and there is no rotor inside the back. So even if you move the watch around, a manual wind watch has no rotor to wind itself up when it's on your wrist. But because this is automatic, just wearing this on your wrist is going to wind this up and keep this thing in a perpetual motion. So this is a beautiful watch. You could see that the little timer there works, and it only goes in one way. It only turns left. It doesn't turn to the right. And the reason for that is to let you know how much time has progressed of you being underwater. You know, you want to give yourself, let's say, about an hour or so. If this thing rotated the other way, there's potential for accidentally spinning it to the right, and then you lose track of how long you've actually been underwater, and you could potentially run out of oxygen. But as long as it only spins this way, it kind of safeguards you in a way to where you could see how much time has elapsed and how much time you have left to hurry up and get out of the water before you run out of oxygen. So that's what this turning bezel is for. The face or the dial of this watch, you see I have the implied indices. Usually this Omega word right there is painted on there. It's just simply painted on in white most of the time. But this one is an applied indices, meaning that that is an actual metal logo that has been placed on this watch. And also going around all the hour markers around the circumference of the loom, you have that stainless steel. So let's go ahead and let's wind this up for the first time. So you guys can see this here. Let's go ahead and we're going to rotate this downward. So look at my thumbs, we're rotating it this way. And once you rotate it enough, this stem is going to pop out. You guys can see that it is more extended than where it originally was. So once it extends itself out, once you turn it down like 2 or 3 times and it pops out, the thing is extended. So now all you have to do is simply just keep rotating it up, and this is going to charge it. And now you see the second hand running where the second hand was just kind of parked before, because we were on a complete empty charge right there. It was completely empty. And rotating this about 5 times or so, we got that thing to moving. Now, I don't know how many times you can rotate this, but essentially you just keep rotating it until you feel a little bit of resistance, and then that means that you're at the end of your rotations. But I don't have the microphone near it, but you can also hear this stem rotating around, and you can hear this thing winding. But because the microphone is on me, you guys can't hear that. But if I can remember off the top of my head, I think this thing gets at least 48 hours of power reserve, meaning that after you give it a full wind, you wind it all the way up, you can wear this thing for 48 hours without having to worry about the second hand stopping. But even if you wind it all the way up on a full charge and get it to 48 hours, if you wear this watch every single day of the week, just because that rotor's inside the back, you don't have to charge it again, because it's going to stay charged from that rotor, always moving around and keeping it charged up, keeping it topped off, so to speak. So I'm going to stop winding it right now. I wound it enough. But that's essentially it. So the watch is wound right now. Now, if you want to change the time, this stem is already out. You pull it out one time, and you use that when it's out just to change the date on there. I don't know what today's date is. I feel like it's the 22nd. It doesn't matter. This is just all reference for this video anyways. So now we have the date set. So it's a quick set date. Next thing, you could pull out the stem to the 3rd position. Now when it's in its 3rd position, that's where you can change the time. Now I'm wearing right now my Rolex Explorer 2, and it looks like the time now is about 1:37. So we're going to take this down to 1:37. Now, when you're ready to finally set the time, we got the time where we want it to be. Let's put it at 1:38 since I'm doing so much talking. You push the stem back in. Now, it's not completely closed. This is not watertight yet. This stem is still a little bit open. I pushed it in as far as it'll go. But to get this sealant on here to make this watertight, because you do not want to take it inside of water unless this thing is completely closed down, you push it in, and at the same time while you're pushing in, you're going to rotate up. And this is going to get this thing inside of a lock position. Now it is officially locked, where it is watertight and you can take it inside of water. So that's essentially how you operate this watch. Let's do everything one more time, but just a lot faster. So you just took the watch off your wrist, and this is what it's like. The crown is completely in. You're just going to rotate it down maybe 1, 2, 3 times, and it pops out to the 1 position. When it's inside this 1 position, you can wind it. You use your nail, pull it out to the 2nd position. You can change the date. Pull it out one more time to the 3rd position. You can change the time. And to set it and forget it, when you're done with everything, you push the crown all the way back in. It's pushed in, but there's still a little bit of a gap there where water can get in. You push in, and at the same time while you're holding it in, you rotate it up. And you're going to feel some resistance where it stops moving. And when it stops moving, That means that the watch is completely closed, water resistant, and ready to wear. And that is how the operation of the Omega Seamaster is going to go.